Jeremy and Joe, live from Fisher, training camp coverage brought to you by Fiegel Car and Joyce, your border attorneys, by Outlet Liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's Your Outlet? By Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys. And driven by your Upstate Honda dealers for great deals on the entire Honda lineup. Visit your Upstate Honda dealer today. We welcome in Jerry Ostroski and John Fina. We got you guys. We should call this the hot seat because after 9 a.m. you're just in the sun.
Yeah,
you're in the sun.
Hope you brought sunglasses.
Man, I'm just happy to be here, man.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
I'm from Arizona. This isn't sun.
A lot of offensive line, and you got to love talking about this team and this offensive line, right? Jerry, you and I have talked about it a lot. I know Dion Dawkins, one of your favorite players, and just this group altogether. So how about just what do you got on the line this year? High expectations, right? I mean, it should be just as good as last year, if not better.
I mean, no doubt, and we talked about it the other day, Jeremy. I mean, this is a fact. How many times do you have an offensive line, not just the starting 5 come back, but the next 4 come back? 6, 7, 8, and 9 are all back on this roster. And then you've got guys that are highly, highly talented that are fighting for that last spot. So tons of competition in that room, tons of talent in that room. And, again, you know, it goes back to Aaron Kromer. He has a plan. He has theories, what he likes and doesn't like. He drafts and helps, you know, evaluations and brings those guys in, and it just kind of turns into a plug-and-play thing after they develop these players.
I'll say this. The best thing that happened to this offensive line was really taking a little bit of the burden off of Josh, opening up the run game philosophy. Right? So they do a lot more than they did just 4 short years ago. So with the talent that they have, Jerry was alluding to their athleticism,
right,
their just cohesiveness, the intelligence that goes throughout every offensive line room, we like to say.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're running so many different plays, so many bigger concept plays, that it really helps them keep that front 6 off balance. You know, you don't know where they're coming from, whether it's some sort of pin and pull or wide zone. They just have a great variety of plays that they run within that philosophy, and it helps considerably.
You know, the other thing they do really well is this jumbo package. So you were always, you know, there's the 6th guy who's been Alec Anderson the last couple of years. Before that, it was David Edwards. It's a way to keep your backups involved in the development of the group. So even though they're not getting every snap, although David Edwards is now, you have a guy that's involved in the game plan. He's getting plays during the game, and he's able to – it helps their development and get ready for when they have to plug him in for somebody leaving. They have experience.
It seems like everything has kind of gone right in the development here. I'm always knocking on wood when I say nice things because you never know. But, you know, Dion Dawkins, what he's developed into. Spencer Brown, his career arc. And I want to get to Connor McGovern, too. The Bills sign him and say, like, oh, he'll just be a center eventually. They slide him over there, and, like, it's great. It's all working together. So whatever they're doing, scouting and putting it all together, it seems like it's just always coming up roses with this group.
Yeah, I think, having met with Aaron Kromer and talked to him for a little bit, you know, he's really smart where he's just trying to figure out what do these guys do really well and set them free. And then as far as what they're not doing as well, you know, you got to find a way to hide and cover up. Not to say that Connor McGovern isn't a great athlete and great football player. You know, I think they got, I wouldn't say lucky, right? Because they went out and got him. But they put him in a position, and they're doing things with these guys that they are good at. They're not asking them to get outside of their abilities. And frankly, it's working. And it's a really fun group to watch.
I think the other thing McGovern is kudos to the scouting department and the advanced scouting department is, you know, McGovern was the highest rated high school center coming out his senior year before he went to Penn State. Then he goes to Penn State, plays a little center. They end up putting him at guard. And now, once again, you have a player that comes in that's multi-positional. And I think that's something you really see with this group. Other than a guy like Spencer Brown and Dion, most of those guys on the inside are multi-positional guys, can play center, can play both guards. And, you know, it's just kind of what Kromer believes in and what he does in the development of his players.
How about the athleticism of the 2 tackles feels like it's on display all the – like Dawkins, I think I've heard you talk about Dawkins kind of lining up so outside his other linemen on an island with that end. Spencer Brown's ability to roll out with Josh when he's scrambling to the right. And obviously there'd be many more examples of that. But how many options does that give them when they have 2 tackles that it feels like you could put anywhere on the field?
Well, it gives them a bunch of options. I'll let John speak on this here in a second because that's what he played. But I think the biggest thing with those 2 is it's, again, Kromer's style of coaching and allowing them to do what they do well and what they're comfortable with as opposed to forcing them into a certain technique situation. You know, the other thing is I don't want people to kind of just hang their hat on these two dudes are athletic.
Yeah.
They're rugged too. I mean, they are physical players. They have it all. This is a tandem that has everything that you need to be successful out there. And I know John can speak on that as much as me.
It's funny when you watch two tackles on the same team that have totally opposite technique, right? Spencer Brown, aggressive set, disciplined technique. Dion, all he says is, he was talking to my son, just get to your spot. I don't care how you get there. And I tell people all the time, watch the result. Just don't look from the waist down because Dion's feet, I don't know what he's doing out there. The truth is both of them are great athletes. Both of them can move. That's why you get such a diverse running game. I don't know. I mean, I'm not even sure who the coordinator is, whether it's Kromer and Brady, putting together the run scheme. I like what Jerry was talking about, the way they run that heavy package. They line up the guys so that the tight end, Alec Anderson, is on a big guy at the end of the line, and it frees up Dawson Knox or Dalton Kincaid to go after that second-tier guy who's generally more athletic. So you're matching type for type, and we're getting the big guy up front.
And it ties in with what James Cook does so well, which is patient zone running, getting behind blocks. And when you put an Alec Anderson out there next to Dion or next to Spencer Brown, they just absolutely collapse that end. And now all of a sudden C-gap, which is that gap between the tight end and the tackle, is all the way down, mashed inside by where the center is, and it allows, Cook that vision, patience, and then hop back behind that stuff. And that's where he gets most of his big runs.
On a round table here on the offensive line, Jerry Ostroski and John Fina joining us of the Overreaction podcast. You guys talk a lot together. John, I want to get your thoughts on Dawkins. Jerry and I have talked about this quite a bit. You said, like, his feet might not be, like, the most technically whatever that you might want. I think, Jerry, you once told me you would never tell someone to play like Dawkins, right?
Yeah, he's kind of like Rod Carew in baseball. Don't emulate his batting stance.
Don't do what he does. But, John, why does Dawkins have so much success doing it the way that he does?
Well, first of all, he can compensate for anything that Jerry and I would have never done, right? His feet are all over the place. He's got them backwards half the time. But he gets to his point, and his body position is so good, and he's massive, and he's strong. And he takes on the bull rush with a little bit of tip of his upper body, gets his hands extended. He's good at distracting with that left hand. I don't know if you guys have ever seen in pass pro, he kind of waves at him like he's on the Titanic saying goodbye at the pier. He does a lot of creative things at the position. And if you watch him from the waist up, he's solid. He's always ready. His hands are in the right place. He's a great position player from the waist up, but his feet get him to where he goes.
Right.
So I got no criticism.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it myself.
By D-end alignment, each tackle has a spot they got to get to win in pass pro. Dion does it his way, which is he manipulates his width of alignment and then is more vertical, where Spencer Brown is your traditional drive catch phase tackle. He's going to drive out to get to that spot. So two different techniques, but they both work really well.
I always played a little bit more like Dion, right? I was going to come a little bit vertical and then let the defensive end declare what he was going to do, inside, outside, bull. And then I could find the spot that way. Spencer is taking the fight to you at about 2.5, 3 yards, right, with that hard set. So for me, I never liked that because you miss on that, and then you're in a world of hurt. I always felt like if I could get back and just kind of key on that inside shoulder, I could react and at least, drive a guy inside. I didn't need to stone him at the line.
Right. I guess in layman's terms, you could say that Spencer forces the issue, where Dion is much more. I hate to use the word passive because how he plays is not passive, but he doesn't force the issue as much. He allows the DN to do things and then takes them where they want to go.
A little bit more patient.
Yeah, patient.
It almost kind of sounds like he plays line the way – remember the way Stevie Johnson used to talk about the way he'd play receiver, where he had a spot to get to and he would tell his quarterback, like, don't worry about how I get there.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I'm going to get there differently than someone else's, but I'm going to get to that spot by the end of it, by the end of the route. Interior line, we talked a little about McGovern there. What do you guys see from Osiris Torrance going into his third year?
You've got a ton of things you can't coach. You've got a big man. A brawling guy, strong, puts his hands on you, finishes blocks. Tremendous player for being, going into his third year. I think this is going to be the year for him that really, really sets his career path because now he knows he can do it physically. He's done it physically for 2 years. Now all the intricacies of O-line play, understanding where I can't get beat, understanding, what I have to do, body positions, where my teammates are going to be. That stuff now becomes second nature. And I think it's going to be a huge year for him. And if he stays healthy, again, like Jeremy said earlier, you talk about guys, you knock on wood, but he's going to get rewarded very well when this whole thing's over.
James Cook is going to miss out on practice again today. And I wonder about linemen on this, right? Like the Bills' offensive line, cohesive unit, and they're plowing the road for James Cook, who is the number one back. He's their best back. I'm thinking back to when Barkley was thinking about going for the 2,000 yards and all that. They said that's a lineman stat. If his lineman wanted him to play, he should maybe play. What I'm getting at, John, how about on Cook? Like, how do you feel like the linemen are feeling in this moment? Like, hoping he gets this deal done, hoping he's back, because he had a great year for them. He kind of helps them get the recognition that they deserve by getting 16 touchdowns, by getting those breakaways, and having the year that he does. So, like, how are the linemen likely feeling about this Cook situation?
Let me jump in my time machine and tell you what John Fina from 1995 would say. I don't care. Like, we are the type of unit we are. I think what we're looking at is how can we get Frank Gore better? How about the third and fourth? We want, like, remember when Jonathan Linton came in and we were like, you're our guy right now, right? So we're like, because we're a little bit, now it's different with social media, but that group was very much like this tight little knit cohesive family. Now, we took bloody bite-sized chunks out of each other in the meeting room, but we were like, hey, man, jump on board, whoever it is. And as far as all that contract stuff goes, and I know James at practice said it's business. Frankly, it's business. And the guys aren't going to – I think if you have any feelings about that, you aren't going to let them know, because that just creates a wedge, right?
Yeah.
And you're all about sticking together. He's out today. We're bringing another guy in. We'll get you some reps. We'll take care of you.
Honestly, it doesn't change anything we do. They're going to still call 24-25. They're going to call 14 and 15, whether he's behind us or not. We still got to do our job. If we don't do our job, we're going to get our ass chewed in meetings.
That's right.
It's pretty much that cut and dry. So if you're worried about him and you're worried about all these other people, it's taken away from what you need to do. So, and the other thing is this, and it's been talked about a lot. Well, the only reason he's had the success he's had is because he's run behind this offensive line. That also goes the other way. I mean, these two groups are very in tune. James Cook's in tune with what they do and vice versa. So they both complement each other very well. It's like we talked about the other day, Jeremy, on the Bill Squad show. If he's not playing, they're going to have to change some things up front with what they do.
Yeah, changing. And that's maybe the question I asked is more a question for Joe Brady. Like, the offensive linemen, they're going to do what, hey, tell me what to do, I'm going to do my job. But Joe Brady has to change his job if Cook is not back there.
Right. Oh, there's no doubt. It was just like when we used to block for Rob Johnson or Doug Flutie or Jim Kelly. I mean, when you played for Flutie, a lot of times you just listened for the crowd noise. And it was like a fireworks show. When you heard the, oh, or ooh, you knew you better lock on and run because little man was doing all kinds of acrobatics behind you. So you get a feel for players and how they play and what they like to do. So, yeah, I mean, but as far as him not practicing, it doesn't change what we do. We still got a job, and whether it's Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, Gore, Hamler, it doesn't matter.
Or the quarterback. I mean, you just brought up some quarterback examples there, and Josh is going to take off and run a lot. I feel like whenever I think of the line staying together, it's, their continuity with each other,
right,
which there's a ton of for this year from past seasons. But all those guys have also blocked for Josh before, and I'm sure you could speak. There would be some adjusting to having a quarterback like that if you had never played with someone that can run like Josh before.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, Josh is going to keep plays alive, so you have to stay alive and you have to keep moving your feet and staying on blocks. But, man, I just wish we didn't play 17 games in the league, because if I was the OC and we had like 12 like a college season, and we'd be running quarterback counter, quarterback draw, quarterback power, quarterback lead. I wouldn't care who was behind. We'd be 17, be the leading rusher.
It's kind of a luxury, though, right? I mean, we love Jim Kelly. Don't get us wrong, right? But he wasn't fleet of foot. He wasn't going to leave that pocket too quickly. But, man, they could bail you out a little bit. The worst part, though, guys, you're holding your block. You got this great block going, and all of a sudden the quarterback kind of leaks up, right between the guard tackle or center guard, and your guy just falls off and makes a sack right there. And people are like, you gave him a sack. And I'm like, I didn't give up. You know what?
Yeah, right.
Is that Is that harder than when he takes off through the line and then you get caught holding when the lineman tries to turn the other way?
I don't know, bro. I started for 9 years. I only had 7 holding penalties.
I don't think
Okay.
I ever held.
I don't know.
I never held.
No, you know why? Because those guys don't understand leverage and momentum. They have no clue what they're looking at.
No, but it's different styles. I mean, I remember Jim coming in the huddle going, "I need just 2 more seconds. 2 more seconds, guys."
And we're like,
I don't think Josh ever says that.
That's like 8 seconds.
2 seconds is a lot, right?
Yeah,
2
that's
seconds
a lot.
is a lot. As you guys look forward to this season, Jerry Ostroski, John Fina, this, is there a defensive line matchup you think like you worry about? Is there a team like the Bills and the Chiefs are going to be back at it again? We talked to Carrington Harrison about the Chiefs yesterday, and he said everybody's back. Like the Chiefs defense is just back. Is that group a problem for this offense? They get their points. Like in the trenches, do you feel like that's a bad matchup? Is it Baltimore? Is there anybody that, when you look at the matchups, you think like that's a tough test? The Jets used to be this for the Bills a couple of years, right? Like that they would always kind of have their trouble with the Jets. Dion's got that rivalry with the Jets. I don't know if there's any other team to think about.
Our group up front, I'm very comfortable with them blocking anybody's defensive line. I'm not worried about that. Now you got individual guys like Chris Jones, you got Quentin
Williams.
Quentin Williams. You know, some of those guys are they're going to make their plays because they're so good. Where I think we have some issues sometimes is when teams do a really good job of run stunning and bringing linebackers and stuff into the run game, as far as instead of playing gaps and doing different things, they're moving at the snap of the ball, trying to create penetration, bounce stuff to guys that are unblocked. I think if we have some issues with some things like that, but as far as any group in the league, I'm comfortable with us blocking anybody.
I agree with Jerry, and I think another tall task for really any NFL team, offensive line now, it used to be there were 1 or 2 guys that were studs on the defensive front 4. And now, and because of that, you could scheme a little bit with your protections and your formations, so you're trying to get doubles on Chris Jones, right? Center guard here, guard tackle there on a specific play. But at the talent level, I think, is such that it's really hard to isolate a guy. So I think part of that, greater success against the Chiefs, getting just that one more touchdown, which is really all we need, right, is figuring out a way with alignment, philosophy, motion, and things of that to try to neutralize him a little bit more. It's a tall task, but, I don't think they're the Eagles' front 6 or 7.
Right. Jerry Ostroski and John Fina, where can people find you guys talking all the time? Where do people go?
Well, you can come to the Overreaction Buffalo podcast on YouTube, download it on any of your platforms. And I'm on Twitter, X, at John Fina. I'm on Instagram at JohnFina70. And, I like to – you say something funny and you might get a decent comment in your section. I enjoy it.
On Twitter at Ostroski_Big O. I'm on Instagram. I can't remember what it is. It's like Oski something.
Oski, that's what it is. Oski.
And, of course, on the Overreaction Pods with John and Joe, and then also with you on Bill's Squad with Joe Marino. And, man, this has been awesome. I'm excited to be here. I appreciate you guys having us on. Jeremy, good to meet you. Good to see you.
Yeah.
We know each other, but the first time in person.
Hey, look at that beard.
I know.
His hands
But see, you see the logo on his pullover? They got a story out now. The girls on the Jersey Shore are going around and they're looking at the guys, their logos on their shirts to see what country club it is.
Oh,
and then they're making their hit list by the country club.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Well,
so see, he got the country club.
this is an old sandwich pullover. Yeah. It was a nice course.
Very quickly, finally at the stadium, you guys have over 200 starts between the two of you. Do you have a favorite moment that comes right to mind that stands out, or are there too many to single them out?
There are dozens, if not hundreds, but beating the Chiefs AFC Championship game in January of '94, that was pretty sweet.
I had that game pulled up because you guys are coming on. I pull up your stats pages. You had a target in that game. I don't know why.
Well, I'll tell you why.
It's on the play-by-play.
Now,
Was it just a throwaway?
Now, he did catch it. No, it was a batted ball probably that he caught and tried to run.
No.
And then all the killer bees came over and smashed him.
It was goal line. I ran a flat route, and it was just out of my reach. Okay. I like to say, but it probably goes down as a drop.
Yeah.
But I'm 1 for 2 with a touchdown. Jerry's got a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Between us, 12 points, baby.
John's the original Alec Anderson. But he actually ran routes and caught the ball.
All right, here's a great story, though, and I need to find this highlight again. Thurman Thomas is running around the right side. He trips Turf Monster, thinks somebody tackled him, and he puts the ball down. And the referee, nobody blows a whistle, and I'm like, that ball might still be alive. So I like start shuffling over, and then I pick up the ball and I run. I get like 7 yards and then get tackled. They blow it down.
Which game is this?
I don't know. It was like 95, 96.
Okay.
We were going away from the tunnel on the visitor side.
And if you ever get the ball on offense, the worst part is not the defensive lineman tackling you. It's all the receiver, or the DB. It's like killer, just coming in. It's just. That's the most awful part.
So Anthony Smith tips Jim Kelly's hand on a pass play, and the ball, there's a photograph of me taking the ball like this out of the air, and I run straight down the center of the field.
I remember that.
It's like I'm about 12, 13 yards I got. Derek Hoskins, I'll never forget his name, the safety from the Raiders, hits me so hard, and I got up and I tried to act all cool, and I'm kind of running back to the huddle, a little tear coming out. I'm like, I'm never touching that thing again, man. Not until the next time.
You get that ball, and it's just one track that way.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
As fast as possible.
Yes.
All right. Jerry Ostroski, John Fina here at training camp. Enjoy practice today, gentlemen.
We will.
Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks for
Appreciate you
having us,
guys. Thanks very
All
much.
right. We'll get a break in and wrap things up before heading off to the Northtown Automotive Extra Point Show here on WGR.